Welcome back. Now we're going to be doing lesson 21. I'm going to be the driver. Vhukhudo is going to be my navigator. Today we are doing the capstone exercise, and in this capstone exercise we improve the confetti cuisines application by adding CRUD functionality to 3 new models, and these models allow subscribers to sign up for confetti cuisines upcoming course offerings and create user accounts to get involved with the cooking class product. So the first thing we're going to be doing is building the models that we're speaking of. The first one that we're going to be concerned with is the subscriber schema in our subscriber.js file, which is in our models here, subscriber.js. And as you can see, this is what it looks like now. We add some schema properties. We have these objects here. We have a name that needs to be of type string. It needs to be required. It's required. You must put it there. We have an email also of type string. It's also required. We'll just make it case insensitive by moving it to lowercase, and it must be unique. We have a zip code which must be of type number. The minimum is this here, basically just to make sure that we have at least 5 digits, and if it's not, it'll just tell you that the zip code is too short, and the maximum is 5 nines, right? And then after all of that, we are going to add an instance method here to get info, and then we are going to export the subscriber model here after our instance methods. So the next one will be the course schema in our course.js file. This one is a bit shorter. We have the title here, which is of type string. It must be required. It's required, and it must be unique. We have a description, which is also of type string and is also required. And then we have the items here, which is just an empty array. And then we have zip code, which is of type number, and it's the same as the one we had before. And then we export that model, right? And then after that we're going to be creating the user model in our user.js, and this is the schema for the user. So the user must have a name, and we are going to trim that name basically to split it to first and last name. We must have an email, which is of type string, same thing as we had before. Zip code exactly the same as we had before, and we need a password, which is required and is of type string also. And then we have just this array of courses here, and we have a schema inside of that, right? And then after that we have the subscribed account, which also excuse me, uses these methods here of types in our object ID, and the reference is subscriber, meaning that it's going to be applied to our subscriber model. And the timestamp is true, so it will show us when it was created and when it's updated. And after that, what we're going to do is use our we're going to add our pre-save hook here, this function here, and we're going to export that model afterwards. So after doing all of that, we are going to add the virtual attribute and pre-save hook in our user.js, like I just said, as you can see here. And then now we want to create the views. So in our views we have views for each of our 3 models, which is courses, subscribers, and users. In each of them we have an edit.ejs file, an index, a new, and a show.ejs file. And with the edit, as you can see, it's just a form that's similar to what we had in our lesson 20. The index is similar to what we had in our lesson 20 also. It allows us to edit and delete. Then we have this new, which allows us to create a new user. So we're going to have a button there that allows us, when you click on that button, it's going to take us on this form, and it's going to give us the ability to create a new user. And this is just going to display that user, which is the same as we had in our lesson 20, and it's the same also for subscribers. We have this edit.ejs, as you can see, and then we have this index.ejs, which is just showing our subscribers. We have this new, when you create a new subscriber, as you're gonna see when you click on that contact button on our web page, it's going to show us this form, and this is just to show us the individual subscribers. And then we have subscriber.ejs to show us the individual subscriber once more. And then it's the same thing also for courses. We have our edit form, when we edit, we have our index to show all of our courses. We have our new.ejs, the form you get taken to when you try to create a new course, and we have our show.ejs, which shows us all the courses and their descriptions. So now we will be moving on to our roots in our main.js file. And in main.js, let me just make this larger. We have our imports here. We have method override, we have mongoose, and all the other methods, all the other modules that we had in our previous projects, right? And then as before, we use the router method, and excuse me, we have this for our users, right? So these are the response handlers for our users. We're going to run the index, new, create, edit, update, delete, and show functions as we did in lesson 20, and the same for our subscribers and for our courses. So the server is already running. Let me just show you what the web app looks like. So this is our index page. This is what we see, and then when we click on courses, you can see we already have 2 courses here. If I go to my MongoDB campus, you can see these are the courses. Sorry, let me just refresh. These are the courses that are in our database, and if I click on it, as you can see, I get taken to the course page. We have the title, we have a description, maximum number of students in a course, and I can click here to go back here. There's another course that we have, right? And then I have this button that I added here, basically just as a shortcut to go to this route here where we can create a new course. I'm gonna create a new course, and I'm just gonna call it I'm just gonna call it legendary, and I'm going to say learn the finest let's say techniques, learn the finest techniques for making dairy meals, right? Something like this. Number of students, I'm gonna say 10, and I'm gonna say it costs 100, yeah, and then I'm gonna save it. As you can see, it shows up in our courses page. This is what our index.ejs for courses, this one here, this is what it's generating. So you can see when I click on it, I can see the title, the description, max students, and cost. I can make changes. Let's say this course is too cheap, or maybe this is too few students. We can just double that by changing this, and when I click save, you can see now it's changed. Or let's say this course is no longer being offered, we can just delete the course here. It gives us this confirm, and we click OK, and the course is now gone. Another thing that we are able to do is create a subscriber. When I click on contact, it takes us to this page, which is that edit.ejs. It's create a new subscriber. I can add a new subscriber here, and I can say, let me add my name. I can say like Kingosi, and put this as an email. Right, and then the zip code, I can say 12345, for example, and then I can create it. So that error just means that this already exists. So I'm just gonna change it from lucky to luck, and then I'm just gonna say luck, right? Yeah, so you see it already existed, that's why it gave us that error. And when I click on this, you see I have 0 associated courses, it tells us. And then we can change the details. Let's say we change the zip code. It's no longer 12345, it's now 12346. Save. As you can see, the changes are made. And I also, before I delete, as you can see, when I click delete here, it shows the confirm. If I cancel, it doesn't delete. But I just want to show on our database that we have a new subscriber now, which is let me just refresh. We have a new subscriber now who is Luck Ngosi, as you can see here, and I can delete them, and I confirm they're no longer there. And then if I refresh my database, they are no longer there also. And then excuse me, after this, what I can do is go create a user, right? So I want to create a new user for the Lucky Nkosi profile that we have. So I'm just gonna say the name is Lucky, surname is Nkosi, password, I'm just gonna make up a password, and then email address is going to be that email address that we had at first, and then zip code is going to be 12345, and then I sign in. And because this user here, if I just go to /subscribers, if I go to this user already exists in our subscribers, and when we go to users we just edit them. When we click on it, it's gonna tell us that this user has a subscribed account, and when I click on it, it takes us to the subscriber data for that user. But we can also view them here. If we want to delete them as a user, want to edit, we can do so. But before I do that, let me just show you that on our users now, you see our database was initially empty, and then when I refresh, it now has these two inputs here. It is these two. As you can see, we have Vhukhudo and we have Lucky here, and I can just delete Lucky if I want to, and Lucky is no longer in our users database. When I refresh, you see it's gone here. And yeah, that is all for lesson 21. That was Confetti Cuisine. Thank you.